everybody. We have our predictions for UFC Fight Night. Josh Emmett versus Kevin Vallejos. Listen, guys, this card sucks. I can't lie. But if you're a hardcore fan like me, you're still, for some reason, going to be tuning into this card. All right, let's start off, guys. Kind of taking a look. You know what? If we're going to do this video, we might as well do the entire card. All right, guys. So, starting off with the first fight, we have Pereira Rodriguez versus Sam Hughes. Sam Hughes, I've actually seen her fight before. She's a really fun, high-pressure, kickboxing-style fighter. I think that she's going to be able to win. Again, I heard Lucas Tracy did a 2.5-hour-long video on his boxing channel. That was really a good watch. If you really care about this fight, I would recommend tuning in there. Okay. We got Elijah Smith versus Su Yong Yu. Elijah Smith is one of the most fun and underrated fighters in the bantamweight division. I watched his last fight, or 2 fights ago, whenever he fought, it went to decision. Whenever he fought Morales, this was a really, really fun fight in February. It went to a 29-28. He almost got choked out at the end of the round, super close. And then he slammed TKO Kazama. You know, so this guy's relatively pretty good. So I'm going to go with Elijah Smith by second round knockout. He's got some nasty power in his hands. I don't know much about Su Yong Yu. I'm going to go with Elijah Smith by KO. Okay, for this fight, we got Bia Mesquita versus Montse Rendon. I'm going to be honest, I don't know anything about these gals. Bia Mesquita 6-0. We're going to go with Bia Mesquita. Okay. All right, on the next fight, we got Loan Lecerada versus Hector Sosa. Gonna be honest, another one of those fights I don't know much about. But just going off the records and the way that they've been fighting lately, we're going to go with Hector Sosa. All right, on the next fight. I mean, he's 14-1. He's from Spain. Maybe new Ilia Topuria. I don't know. We'll see. Bellagioki, every single time he fights, he does something weird. I feel like anytime I'm watching a Bellagioki fight, it's always wild, okay? It's always something weird is going on, okay? He's a good finisher. I feel like he always brings the fight. You know, I know he got knocked out in his last fight. This fight, I'm actually going to go with Bellagioki by first round knockout. I watched his contender series. This didn't really make me want to pick him by any means. Like, I know he's 13-1. I know he's a good quality fighter, but Bellagioki is just too weird in there. I'm going to go with Bellagioki by knockout. Okay, guys, on to the next fight. We got Chris Curtis versus Miktek Orolbai. Of course, you put this fight on the prelims. Probably one of the only 2 fights I genuinely care about on this card. Okay? You'd be like, yeah, let's put this on the prelims. We have the Stone Age man, Bill himself, Miktek Orolbai. Listen, guys, Chris Curtis, I think he's just getting a little bit too up there in age. I know he's actually, like, not that old. He's, like, 32 or whatever, but he's just... Let me look it up. I know he's not actually that old. Oh, he's 38. Never mind. Chris Curtis is agent. Yeah. Miktek Orolbai. Honestly, you could go Miktek Orolbai by finish. I don't really trust in his finishing abilities that much. I'm just going to go Miktek Orolbai by decision. All right, going on to the next fight. We got Brad Tavares versus Eric Andrews. Again, one of those fights, kind of a 50-50 fight in my opinion. You know what I mean? Not much sticks out to me about these 2 guys, about which one's going to be able to win. I just think Eric Andrews, every single time he steps in the octagon, he can either fluke you or be fluked. He's a fluke or be fluked fighter. You can kind of see that in his recent wins. You know, he got knocked out and then he won and then he knocked the other guy out. And listen, you know, he's clearly not that high quality. He lost to Marc-Andre Barriou. Anyways, he knocked out Kyle Dawkins. I mean, shoot, do we put Eric Andrews on the White House? Is this what we're doing, UFC? You know, I think he's just gonna fluke Brad Tavares. I'm gonna go Eric Andrews by knockout. Okay. Now we got Vitor Petrino versus Steven Asplund. Listen, guys. Listen. Money Man Zell MMA. I know how much you love Steven Asplund. I mean, listen, he's a fun. He actually does have a pretty fun style about him. I hate to say it, but he's actually getting fraud checked. I hate to say it. He's going to lose this fight. He's going to lose by decision. He's going to lose by, honestly, smudge grappling. I'm not going to lie. He takes down 3. He's shooting a takedown around. I don't know how good Steven Aspelin's jiu-jitsu and wrestling game is. I'm just going to go Vitor Petrino by smudge grappling. It's going to suck. I mean, he's ranked for a reason. Give me Vitor Petrino. All right, Charles Johnson versus Bruno Silva. This was previously on the prelims, which, again, makes no sense to me. But for this fight, I'm just going to go Charles Johnson by decision. I'm going to go Charles Johnson by decision. Listen, if he knocks out Bruno Silva will be going on a title run. This is just what happens whenever you get knocked out by Charles Johnson. So I think realistically here, Bruno Silva is nowhere near a title run. That means Charles Johnson can't knock him out, which means it's going to go Charles Johnson by decision. Okay, now we got Marwa Rahiki, versus Harry Hadwick. This is my lock of the fight. Marwan's got this fight, guys. This is my lock of the card. Marwan is going to style on Harry Hardwick, okay? Listen, he's 7-0. Every fight that I've seen him in, he looks good. I don't even think this is going to be a competitive fight at all. I think it's going to be second round knockout. He's going to put him away relatively early, okay? I got Marwan Hariki. Okay, Andre Fili, fun fight every single time he steps in the octagon. That's just what you get with an Andre Fili fight. I'm gonna go Andre Fili by decision here. I don't really rate Jose Miguel Delgado. I know he trains a little bit with Suge and at that gym, but I got Andre Fili. He's always fun. He hasn't been in the octagon in a while. I remember he got eye poked, and it was either his last fight or the fight before that. It was just kind of a weird fight. He got styled on by Maquezel Acosta. He's one of the best fighters in the division, so I don't really blame him for that. But yeah, give me Andre Fili. Maybe he's going on a little bit of a title. Oh, he lost to Danny Gay. Never mind. Yeah. So give me Andre. Hopefully he's not bald showing up here. That's a rough look for him. All right, Ian Cutelaba versus Omar Sy. This is what the hardcore fans care about. Ian Cutelaba versus Omar Sy. Not Chris Curtis versus Miktalek Orolbai, who's actually a prospect. Whatever. This fight, I'm going to go with, personally, Omar Sy by decision. He's more athletic. He's got better kickboxing. I just think everything about Omar Sy is better than Ian Cutelaba. I could totally be wrong here. Again, though, if you're going to judge me on my predictions off my Apex featured fights, that's on me, man. That's on me. To be honest, this year, I've predicted every single fight so far this year. I think it's like 65% or whatever on all my picks. I've done every single fight, every single card. And my main events are 1-7 so far. So maybe you don't want to listen to me about the main event. Anyway, I have a crazy main event curse going right now. But that's not what anyone cares about. Everyone who I've talked to about this card so far, which is absolutely nobody, we've all been talking about Gillian Robertson, okay? How she's one of the scariest women in the entire women's strawweight division, okay? She strikes fear into every single one of her opponents, okay? Lucas Tracy did a 3.5-hour video just on Gillian Robertson's jab, okay? And how Amanda Lemos, even though she's got elite grappling and how she's able to lay on top for opponents, just like she did in her last fight. Who was it against? No! Was she the one that got laid on? Yeah. Oh, wow. She's fought 3 times since then. Yeah, she just got laid on versus Jandiroba. Anyway, everyone knows Gillian Robertson's jab is one of the best in the women's strawweight division, okay? The pride of Canada, Gillian Robertson, is going to show up and show out. Use that jab that Lucas Tracy talked about in the boxing channel. I might even make myself my own boxing channel just to talk about Gillian Robertson's left calf kick, because it's something quite special in itself. All right, going on to the next fight, we got Josh Emmett versus Kevin Vallejos. Listen, guys. Josh Emmett, Well, what do you got to say about a good Josh Emmett fight? He's gonna throw 50 overhand. Wow, he looks weird. This is his new photo. They weren't lying. He looks weird. Wow. Okay. Okay, we got Mr. Clean out here. Okay, wow. Listen, Josh Emmett's. He lost so weird to Yusuf Zalal. Like, I thought that was rigged. Let's watch that right now. I don't know if am I legally allowed to watch this? Who cares? No, we're not going to do that. We're not going to get any copyright. Anyways, Josh Emmett. Listen, I know he knocked out Bryce Mitchell. It was a fluke, guys. It was a fluke. It was a fluke. It was all fake. It was all fake. None of that was real. That was all fake. But yeah, Kevin Vallejos is going to knock him out. Like, honestly, give me a late round stoppage. I think Josh Emmett's relatively durable. Look what Ilia Topuria did to him. You know what I mean? He went 3 rounds with Ilia Topuria. That's something that not even Max Holloway could do. Or Volkanovski, or insert your favorite fighter of all time. So give me Kevin Vallejos by like 5th round stoppage. I think this is finally the one that really puts Josh Emmett down. I think it's just going to be a brutal fight. I mean, like, his Lerone Murphy fight was so unbelievably boring, okay? And like I said, Lerone Murphy's not a top 5 fighter in the featherweight division. He's going to get laid on by Movsar Evloev the entire time. Even though he's not a great matchup for Movsar, I mean, he's not a yeah, like, we got to test Lerone's takedown defense, and he might actually be able to beat Movsar on the striking. But Movsar doesn't have bad pop. Whatever. Give me Kevin Vallejos by late round stoppage. All right, guys. That is my video. You could tell I put a lot of work into this. I really cared about this video. Anyways, like and subscribe. See you guys soon.